Have you ever wondered how a single decision can change the course of history? Imagine standing on the edge of a battlefield, knowing that every move you make could decide the fate of a nation. Today, we're diving into a moment that shaped the American Civil War, the summer of 1863, just before the Battle of Gettysburg. What if I told you that the famous battle we all know might never have happened, if not for two crucial choices by one man? We're talking about actions of General John Reynolds. Why did Meade want to fight a defensive battle? How did Reynolds' decision lead to the bloody clash at Gettysburg? And what can we learn from this turning point in history? Stick around because this story is full of strategy, risk, and the unexpected twists that make history so fascinating. Let's set the scene. It's the summer of 1863. The Civil War has been raging for over 2 years. The Union Army of the Potomac has just gotten a new commander, General George Meade. He's only been in charge for a few days. His job: stop General Robert E. Lee and the Confederate Army, who are marching north into Pennsylvania. Washington, D.C. is at risk. The stakes couldn't be higher. Meade knows he's facing a tough opponent. Lee's army is experienced, confident, and on the move. So Meade comes up with a plan. But it's not what you might expect. Instead of charging into battle, Meade wants to play it safe. He decides to put his army on the defensive. He wants to pick the ground where they'll fight. He wants to make Lee come to him.
If Meade is there tomorrow, I cannot move this army away. No, sir, I will attack him.
General, if Meade is up there tomorrow, it is because he wants us to attack him. We push back 2 corps, but there are 5 more coming.
This plan is called the Pipe Creek Line. Pipe Creek is a small stream in Maryland, not far from the Pennsylvania border. Meade thinks it's the perfect place to make a stand. The ground is strong. It's close enough to Washington to protect the capital, and it forces Lee to attack if he wants to keep moving north. But there's a problem. Meade doesn't know exactly where Lee's army is. He doesn't know what Lee is planning. So he turns to a classic military tactic. He decides to send out a reconnaissance in force. This means sending a part of his army forward, not to start a big battle, but to find out where the enemy is, how strong they are, and what they're up to. Meade gives this important job to General John Reynolds. Reynolds is one of the best officers in the Union Army. He's brave, respected, and trusted by his men. Meade puts Reynolds in charge of the army's left wing. He tells Reynolds to move forward, make contact with the enemy, and then fall back to the Pipe Creek Line if needed. Meade's orders are clear. The main goal is to gather information. Don't get stuck in a big fight. Don't risk the whole army. If you run into trouble, pull back to the strong defensive position at Pipe Creek to make sure everyone understands the plan. Meade writes a special order. It's called the Pipe Creek Circular. He sends it out to all his commanders on the morning of July 1st, 1863. The message is simple. Be ready to move to Pipe Creek and fight a defensive battle there. But here's where things start to go off track. General Reynolds, leading the left wing, makes 2 big decisions that change everything. First, Reynolds does not pass on Meade's Pipe Creek plan to his own commanders. He has time to do it, but for some reason he doesn't. Maybe he thinks it's not important. Maybe he's focused on the immediate situation. But the result is clear. His subordinates don't know the overall plan. We know this because of what happens next. When Reynolds is killed early in the fighting, General Abner Doubleday takes over. Doubleday later says he had no idea what Reynolds' plan was. He didn't know about the Pipe Creek Circular dispatch that morning. He didn't know they were supposed to fall back if things got tough. He was left in the dark at a critical moment. Second, Reynolds makes a bold move. Instead of staying back and commanding his wing, he rides to the front lines. He joins the famous Iron Brigade as they move into battle. He's right there, leading from the front. It's brave, it's inspiring, but it's also risky. Let's pause for a moment and think about this. A wing commander is supposed to see the big picture. He's supposed to direct his troops, keep them organized, and make sure the plan is followed. If he's on the front line, he can't do that. He's putting himself in danger, and the whole operation at risk. There's a famous example from another war that shows why this is a problem. During World War II, General Eisenhower scolded General Doolittle for flying a combat mission himself. Eisenhower said, "We need you to lead, not to fight." The same idea applies here. Back to Gettysburg. Reynolds is at the front, leading his men. Suddenly, he's shot and killed. It's a huge blow. The left wing of the Union Army has lost its commander. The next in line, General Doubleday, has no idea about Meade's overall plan. He doesn't know they're supposed to fall back to Pipe Creek. He doesn't know the battle was supposed to be just a reconnaissance. Instead, the fighting grows. More and more Union troops are pulled into the battle. The Confederates push hard. The Union holds its ground. By the end of the day, the Battle of Gettysburg is in full swing. Meade's careful plan for a defensive battle at Pipe Creek is gone. The Union Army is now committed to a massive fight at Gettysburg. There's no turning back. Let's think about what this means. If Reynolds had followed Meade's orders exactly, the Union Army might have pulled back to Pipe Creek. They might have fought a defensive battle on ground of their own choosing. The Battle of Gettysburg, as we know it, might never have happened. History could have taken a very different path. But because of Reynolds' decisions, whether by accident or by choice, the Union Army stood and fought at Gettysburg. It was one of the bloodiest battles of the Civil War. Over 50,000 men were killed, wounded, or missing in just 3 days. The war would go on for 2 more years. So what can we learn from this story? First, even the best plans can fall apart if everyone isn't on the same page. Communication is key, especially in moments of crisis. Second, leadership is about more than bravery. It's about seeing the big picture, making tough choices, and trusting your team to do their jobs. And finally, history is full of moments where a single decision changes everything. If you found this story interesting, let me know in the comments. Do you think Reynolds made the right call, or should he have stuck to Meade's plan? Hit the like button if you learned something new today. Share this video with a friend who loves history. And don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the moments that shaped our world. Remember, history isn't just about dates and battles. It's about people, choices, and the stories that connect us all. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.